Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Growing Orchids in Jamaica. It's actually an overcast day in my neck of the wood, guys, but it's still a beautiful day. Today I will be talking to you about the Oncidium orchids. In case you're new to my channel, please subscribe so you see just how I grow orchids in Jamaica. If you want to see how I grow my Oncidium orchids, just stay tuned. Yes guys, welcome back. And so today I will be showing you just how I grow the Oncidium orchids. Yes, did you know that they are also called the dancing lady? Yes guys, they are. There are actually a wide variety of Oncidium orchids, and that includes some of the hybrids, some of the cross of these orchids. Now, some of them are crossed with the Odontoglossum, and so those are called the Odontocidium. They are actually sympodium, and so they grow from the side. So they will send out what we call pseudobulbs from the side from another pseudobulb, and so they will send them from side to side. So they will grow wide and will fill the pot up. Unlike the monopodium orchids, which has only one stem and tend to send out new leaves to the top, like the Vanda orchids. So they actually send out these pseudobulbs, and different types will have different size, different shape, different structure in terms of the pseudobulbs. So the ones on this one, which is my Oncidium Sunday Best, that's this one here, I have it actually growing in a hanging basket, and it is actually hung semi-shaded. And I recently put this actually in this hanging basket, and I realized that it is doing extremely well in it. There are different sizes of pseudobulbs, and let me just show you some different sizes. So this one, the pseudobulbs are pretty small. If you notice, it grows similar to the others, with the two leaves stemming from the bottom and two leaves that stems actually from the top of the pseudobulb. This one, actually, I do not have most of the IDs, and so I will not be able to share the IDs with you. But this one is a small one, and if you look at the shape here, you'll see the feature of that dancing lady. This one has very long, elongated pseudobulbs. If you notice here how tall the pseudobulb on this one is, but with the similar feature of the two leaves to the bottom, one is usually larger than the other, and then two at the top. This one is not in bloom. It's also in a hanging basket doing its thing. All right, so this is another one where the pseudobulb is actually not green. If you notice here, it is multicolored, sort of purplish. So this one is the Oncidium Wildcat Yellow King. So look at it, guys. It is another beautiful one, and this one is also potted but not hanging. So they tend to have multiple pseudobulbs, and a rule of thumb, if you are going to be dividing them, it is best to divide them with a minimum of 3 pseudobulbs, because anything below that, you will have some struggles actually getting it to do well for you in the initial stages, or it will take a very long time to become established. So this is another beautiful one, guys, that I have here in bloom right now. So I actually grow them in different ways. I grow them in pots, I grow them in hanging basket, and I also mount. So this one here, guys, is one that I have mounted, and I just actually tried mounting this one on fern root for some time now. Initially it wasn't doing so well, but eventually it acclimatizes to the condition and it is now doing so much better. So this is it, guys, but this one is one of the Culminara. It is the Oncidium Culminara Wildcat Rainbow. Yes, guys, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? Right. And this other one, I actually have it hanging, but hanging in a pot, and it is now putting on a splendid show, guys. Look at that. Yes, guys. So this is another one that I have blooming right now, and it is just another spectacular one. In a bit, I will tell you how I care for them and the medium that I grow them in. So this is another one, guys. Yes. What I realize with them, they like to be moist. So you do not necessarily wait until they are fully dried out before watering. So what I do not allow them to dry out completely before watering them, because I find that they really like to be moist and they like to be in an area where the humidity is high. And so most of them, I actually had started some time ago to set up a tower for them, but I realized that they didn't really like to be on the tower because they would drain out too much and then the sun would actually be on them. And so I had to actually dismantle that tower and place them back in their original places. So I had to put them back in the original places where I had them, and so they are doing much better for me now. So I actually keep them semi-shaded, at least a 50% shade, and some of them are actually under the greenhouse mesh. Those that are not under the greenhouse mesh, I actually ensure that whatever medium they are in, there are some medium in it that will hold the moisture. So therefore, my usual medium that I use is actually the tree fern root, and I chop that in squares and then I mix that with river stones and charcoal. For some, I will put little pieces of coconut husk, but just small pieces because I don't want to put too much in them, because that when that breaks down, you may tend to have some issues with that. So that is basically how I treat them. In terms of watering, I water them in a similar manner whenever I'm watering my other plants. So because where I am is actually a cool area, I will water them at least twice per week, and I fertilize them at least once per week. And whatever fertilizer that I am using for my other plants, that's the same fertilizer that I use, because I use the same fertilization and watering routine for all my plants, because I really don't have the time to be separating and segregating. And so when you do that, what is important is that the medium that you have them in must be able to manage the routine that you are presently using. I have actually been experimenting with them, and so I had mounted this one on tree fern root. It took a while to become established, But now that it has become established, I tell you, it doesn't stop blooming, guys. It blooms for the entire year. Where I have it, I actually have it under the eave of the house, and I water it in a similar manner I water the others, but it has acclimatized to that condition and is doing pretty well. So it's always filled with blooms and is just doing pretty well. And as I said in my last video, it's actually the sunshine in my garden. There are actually approximately 500 species in this genus, and of course they will send out shimmering sprays of large, elegant, some dainty and some very small flowers. So this is where I mainly keep them. This area, the humidity is pretty high and they are semi-shaded. Actually, they are under a 50% mesh, if you notice here. Right, and this is where I find that they do extremely well for me. So what tends to happen, they will send out their inflorescence from one of their bottom leaves. This one is a little funny, but they usually send it out from one of their bottom leaves. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and so you never miss another video, please subscribe to my channel, and as we say in Jamaica, just follow back on me. This is the Orchid Duck, and I am growing orchids in Jamaica.